Ever wonder just how evil Eric Cartman truly is? We're not talking about his usual name-calling or petty schemes. We're talking about his most heinous acts. This isn't just a list of who he's insulted. This is a countdown of his most shocking cruelty in the moments that took him from a schoolyard bully to an unimaginable monster. Let's get to it. Number 7. Faking disabilities. Kicking off our list at number 7 is Cartman faking disabilities for gain. And yes, that was disabilities, plural, because he's done this more than once. In one episode, Cartman fakes having Tourette's syndrome so he can scream slurs at people without getting in trouble. And let's not forget his audacious attempt to grift his way to a gold medal at the Special Olympics by pretending he had a mental disability. When Timmy and Jimmy, two disabled boys from his school, ask Kyle, Stan, Kenny, and Cartman to come cheer them on at the Special Olympics, Cartman hatches his plan. He starts researching disabilities, watching the disabled kids, cuts his hair in patches, and pulling faces in the mirror, all to give the impression he's disabled, all to get the gold and win $1,000. His plan, of course, backfires spectacularly. Cartman, being Cartman, is so out of shape that he comes in dead last. His evil here was born from selfish greed, not calculated malice, which is why it's just a warm-up on our list. Number 6. The Crack Baby Athletic Association. At number 6, we have a crime that perfectly blends Cartman's boundless greed with his talent for mass exploitation. In Crack Baby Athletic Association, Kyle and Stan see a commercial about crack-addicted babies and how they need volunteers to comfort these abandoned babies. Kyle feels sad and goes down to the hospital to help. On arrival, he sees Cartman coming out of the room with a camera in his hand. Cartman has been recording the babies fighting over a ball of cocaine and uploading it to the internet for views and making a tidy profit. He's so successful, he's getting video game deals with EA Sports. He even gets advice from a university on how to manage his slaves without paying them. With the profits, he lives an extravagant lifestyle, eating out every night and soaking in a jacuzzi filled with gravy, all while claiming to be a not-for-profit company. For Cartman, these vulnerable infants are just a commodity, a means to an end. It's a heartless, large-scale operation that earns its spot in this ranking. Number 5. Giving Kyle AIDS. At number 5, we see Cartman shift from greedy schemes to deeply personal, hateful revenge. The whole thing starts in tonsil trouble when Cartman gets HIV from a bad blood transfusion after getting his tonsils out. The school informs the other children of Cartman's condition. When Kyle hears about it, he just can't stop laughing, seeing it as the universe finally getting back at Cartman. Cartman, with his hair-trigger temper, exacts his revenge by breaking into Kyle's room in the middle of the night, drawing blood from his arm with a syringe, and squirting it into Kyle's mouth, infecting him with HIV. Let's be clear, Cartman deliberately gave his friend what he believed was a death sentence, all because his feelings were hurt. It's a terrifying look into his psyche, where a simple slight is enough to justify murder. Number 4. Selling human fetuses. At the number 4 spot is a crime so unbelievably dark, and yet it was just the side plot of an episode. The episode Kenny Dies starts with everyone finding out Kenny is going to die. Cartman vows to find a cure. Cartman talks to a doctor and finds out how stem cells work, how they basically replicate whatever they're near. Later, Cartman finds a crashed truck full of aborted human fetuses. Cartman then sees a business opportunity. This is where his sociopathic CEO brain kicks in. Cartman collects the fetuses and immediately starts trying to sell them for stem cell research, haggling on the phone saying, "You're really breaking my balls," anytime he doesn't get the price he wants. He also stands outside an abortion clinic asking women to give him their babies and even convinces a heavily pregnant woman to terminate the pregnancy so he can have the fetus and just make a new baby. Yikes. When the government bans stem cell research, he then tries to sell the fetuses to a restaurant, calling them succulent shrimp. Cartman then remembers Kenny and takes it on himself to get the laws changed, telling the medical board how he has a very sick friend who will die unless he can get stem cells. The laws get changed, and instead of helping Kenny get better, Cartman uses the stem cells to replicate his favorite pizza place. The depravity here is staggering. Kenny dies, by the way, but Cartman is happy he has his own Shakey's Pizza restaurant. We're halfway through our countdown, and the crimes are escalating from awful to outright depraved. Believe it or not, it gets so much worse from here. Hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments which heinous act you think will be number 1. Number 3. Starting a neo-Nazi movement. Entering our top 3 is the moment Cartman's casual bigotry explodes into a full-on fascist movement. After becoming obsessed with Mel Gibson's The Passion of the Christ, Cartman sees the film's controversial message as total validation for his own anti-Semitism. Cartman then puts on a Hitler-esque uniform and starts a fan club marching through town, shouting in German, saying how he has a final solution for all South Park's problems. His followers, cluelessly thinking it's the Aramaic language from the movie, chant wildly anti-Semitic things in German that we can't repeat here. This isn't about money or a simple prank. This is Cartman channeling one of history's greatest evils to act on his pure hatred. He's actively trying to incite genocide in his own town, showing he's not just a hateful kid, but a chillingly effective leader of a hate movement. Number 2. Befriending and betraying Cthulhu. Swinging into our number 2 spot, we have a crime of truly cosmic proportions. In the Coon and Friends saga, Cartman's superhero persona, the Coon, gets kicked out of his own group. In retaliation, he does what any literally insane person would do. He befriends an ancient world-devouring Dark Lord, Cthulhu. How does he pull it off? By acting like a cute kitten and curling up on Cthulhu's belly. Once he has this godlike monster wrapped around his finger, he uses him for petty revenge. He directs Cthulhu to destroy synagogues, San Francisco, all Whole Foods stores, Justin Bieber, and the Burning Man Festival. But his real goal is to get back at his friends, so he has Cthulhu banish them all to an eternal dimension of pure chaos. Think about the sheer scale of this. Cartman aligns himself with a monster that can end existence all because he's mad at his friends for kicking him out of their game. He'd watch the world burn just to settle a schoolyard score. Number 1. Scott Tenorman must die. And number 1, the undisputed champion of Cartman's evil. The moment that changed everything. Of course, we're talking about the events of Scott Tenorman Must Die. The setup is simple. An older kid, Scott Tenorman, tricks Cartman into buying his pubes for $16.12. Scott then humiliates Cartman at every turn, outsmarting him and burning his money in front of him. Pushed to his absolute limit, Cartman vows revenge. But what he cooks up isn't just a prank. It's the stuff nightmares are made from. He organizes a chili cook-off, but behind the scenes, he spends weeks meticulously arranging for Scott's parents to be murdered by a farmer. Cartman then steals their bodies, chops them up, and cooks them into his chili. At the festival, he makes sure Scott gets served a big bowl. And as Scott is done eating, Cartman reveals the truth. Scott is eating his own parents. As Scott breaks down in tears, Cartman licks the tears off his face, saying how sweet they are, gloating in his total victory. And just in case that wasn't enough, Cartman also invited Scott Tenorman's favorite band, Radiohead, to the cook-off so they can see him cry like a baby. This was the turning point. He went from being a bully to a full-blown psychopath. This wasn't just evil. He orchestrated a double murder, tricked a boy into the cannibalism of his own parents, and reveled in the psychological destruction of his enemy. All for $16.12. This was deeply malicious, and the moment the brat from South Park died, and a pure monster was born. So there you go. The real stories behind the absolute worst things Eric Cartman has ever said. And they were all so bad that we will admit they were hard to decide what order they should go in. Every act on this list is a testament to his depravity. Do you agree with our number 1 pick? Did we get the right order? Which one shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below.